ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदं वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ येनाक्षरसमाम्नायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तम् अस्मै पाणिनये नमः वाक्यकारं वदरुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 I will continue the topic Samasa. I thought I will tell briefly, but let me see how much brief it be. This is the second class, but only the introduction is over. There are different types of Samasa. So we will see in detail all the Samasa, but without Sutra. Just I will mention, if required, the Sutrams. Later, when we study Sutra, that time, with the Sutram, we can understand Samasa in detail. Now, without Sutram, it will be in detail. Okay, Samasa. Samasa is one of the vritti. There are 5 types of vritti. Vritti means the complex formation of the words. And the words will have its unique meaning. That is called vritti. Panchavritti, we say. Krit, Taddita, Samasa, Ekashesha, Sanadenta, Dhaturupaha, Panchavrittayaha iti. So among them, Samasa vritti, that is what we are interested in. What is Samasa? Compounding, compounds. In English, it is compounds. Ekapadi bhavanam samasaha. Ekapadi bhavanam means becoming one word. That which is not one will become one. It's called Ekapadi bhavanam. It means it was 2 or more than 2, 3, 4, 5, any number of words. That will become one. Ekapadi bhavanam. Pada is word. Ekapadi becomes becoming one. Many becoming one. That is called samasa. Many words becoming one. That is called samasa. Last class we saw the difference between sandhi and samasa. You know it very well, difference. For the beginners, it is difficult to make them understand the difference. But you know, what is the difference between a sandhi and a samasa? Samasa, two or more words become one. In Sandhi, when you join two independent words, just joining, and they two words continue to be independent only. Two padams, they continue to be independent. Within a padam, when you join the Prakriti Pratyaya, that will become one. That is different. That, in that context, Sandhi is a must. Whereas between two padams, Sandhi is optional. So two words, two or more words becoming one. So Subantam padena saha samasyate. Subantam padam Subantena saha, combining with other Subanta. Samasyate samasa bhavati. Then this samasa means it's a shortening, abridgment. And to form a compound, there should be sambandha between the words. There should be samartha padavidihi. Sutra is, in fact, that sutra is important sutra, general sutra, not only for samasa. In other contexts also, tadit and all, it is applied. When you form a compound, there should be a connection. We saw the example. Bharya Rajnaha Purushaha Devadattasya. Here, Rajnaha Purushaha, no connection, so you cannot make samasa. Wife of a king, son of Devadatta. Whereas servant of a king, there you can make samasa, Raja Purushaha iti. So there should be sambandha, connection. This is the important sutra. We will discuss this when we study sutra in detail. Samartam subantam samartena subantena sagas samasyate samasaha bhavati. Samasanam sankshepa katanam samasaha iti. Simple words, whether substantives, visheshya, adjectives, visheshana, verbs or indeclinables, avyayam also. Avyayam also can become a part of a samasa, can combine with other padam. Because avyayam also a padam. It can combine with another padam. So they have the power of entering into combination with one another and forming what are called samasa, compound words. A compound thus formed may further be compounded with another simple or compound word, and this again become the new member of the new compound. So like that we can make, the last class we saw a long compound. So we can form, first we can form a samasa, and then that can be combined with another word or another samasa. So you can make like that complex samasas. When you make, that will become the member of the compound. Member means Raja Purushaha. If you take example, Raja Purushaha, Rajan is one member, Purushaha is another member. So a samasa formed, when it combines with another word, then the samasa already which is formed, that becomes a new member of that compound. So like that, we can combine any number of members. I use the word member. So therefore, the whole compound has the power to express the various relations that exist between the several members. That is what we have to find out in a complex samasa. Not that samasa is complex. It is a long samasa. Like in Panchadashi and all, we saw long samasa. In the Panchadashi, the very first Dhyana Shloka itself, Graha Grasaika Karmane, the Prarthana Dhyana Shloka, second line, it's a long samasa. Even Gita also it is like that. It is many shlokas, one word. And they have got several members. Now, the last word only takes the case termination. Yes. All the other members of the compound, they lose the case endings. Because Subantam Subantena Saga Samasyate. A word, a completely inflected word. In English, we say inflected word. What is inflected? Means the case endings added. Inflected means padam. A completely inflected word, a padam combined with another padam becomes a pratipadikam. In there, the first one loses case termination. Similarly, all the other members will lose the case endings. And when you form a compound, the case ending will be added to the last word. The last word only take the case termination required by its grammatical position in a sentence, and the remaining words generally assuming their crude forms. Crude form is noun basis. Like an example, Rajan Purushaha. Rajan Purushaha, what happens? It is Rajnyaha Purushaha, Rajan Purushaha. Here, it is Rajnyaha. Rajnyaha plus Purushaha. Rajnyaha is Rajan is a Pratipadikam. Rajan plus Shashti Vibhakti. Therefore, Pratyaya is Nas. Similarly, Purusha is a Pratipadikam and the Subanta Pratyaya is Su. So Rajan is one member, Purushan is another member. This Rajan, Rajnyaha is the completely inflected word, it is a Padam. That Padam, Subantam Padam, Subantena Saha, Samasyate. Rajnyaha iti Padam, Purushaha iti Padena, Saha Samasyate, Samasaha Bhavati, Raja Purusha iti. That is your meaning. Now, when you do like this, now the whole thing will be a Pratipadikam. We know. Krit Tadita Samasa Asya Pratipadikam in the Sutra. Ashtadhyayi class we saw. And those who don't know, you can just understand this. Kridanta means you also know Krit Pratyaya when you add to a dhatu, that becomes a Pratipadikam, declinable, like Kshatri, Shana, etc. what we saw. Similarly, Tadita Pratyaya when you add to a word, that becomes a Pratipadikam. Similarly, Samasa also becomes a Pratipadikam. Now, how does it become a Pratipadikam? These pratyas, now, when this Rajan and Purushaka combine, the whole thing become a Pratipadikam, and within a Pratipadikam, these pratyas are dropped. Look Bhavati. We use the word look. Just note, look is nothing but Lopa only, Adarshanam only. But we don't say Lopa, we say look. The technical word again. These are some extra information, okay? If I say look, you can understand what it is. Lopaha bhavati, look bhavati. We say look. Supodhata pratipadika yogo, look, it is sutram. Sutram is there. So, therefore, this pratyaya will become look. Look means what? What is look means? Lopaha. Whether we call it as look or whether we call it as shlu, all mean the same. Or we call as look, or we call lopaha, all have the same meaning. All these are technical words used by Panini Maharshi. Look, shlu, look, lopa, all means same thing, adarshanam only. Here we use the word look. So here we use the word look. That much you know enough. So when it becomes look, then what you will have? You will have Rajan plus Purushaha you will have. Then Rajan plus Purushaha. Then this Rajan is now already Pratyaya being added, and Pratyaya has become look, Lopa. So Rajan is now a Pratipadikam as well as a Padam. Rajan now, it is a Pratipadikam as well as a Padam, because Rajan as a Pratipadikam, Supratyaya added, and it has become a Padam. Now this has become look. This has become look. First already married. After this got divorced. Then he will not become a bachelor. He will continue to be a married person only. The same thing. is it's a padam, also enjoys the status of single, therefore again a bachelor also. So he married and also bachelor, something like that. Okay. So Rajan is both the padam and the pratipadikam. Similarly, Purusha also. So therefore, that which is a pratipadika as well as a pada, that nakara goes away. That is by some rule. In this example, that nakara goes away. Therefore, Raja Purushaha. Raja Purushaha, now what is that? The whole thing is a pratipadika. That is why Raja Purusha is declinable now. It is a, by samasa, we get a new pratipadikam, combined pratipadikam, where the Rajan and Purusha, two members which are capable of combining have combined, and it has become Ekapadam, Ekapadi Bhavanam Samasaha Raja Purusha iti Pratipadikam. Now Raja Purusha, depending on the ending of the samasa and also the depending on the context, it can be declined in any linga. Here Raja Purusha is ending with akara. Therefore, Rama Shabdavati you can decline Raja Purushaha, Raja Purusho, Raja Purushaha iti. Understand?
Yes, sure.
Yes, sure.
These are the simple steps. Okay. So, similarly, I given here another example. Vidvas plus Jana. Vidvas is a pratipadikam. Vidvas plus Jana becomes Vidvajjana. I've not done in detail here. Just you can know. Vidvas one word. Jana is another word. So now these two words are combined. And combined, what has happened? Vidvas. Rajan, I have done all the steps one by one, but here I'm not writing. Just final form only I'm showing you. Vidvas a padam where the pratyaya has become look. Similarly, Jana, the pratyaya has become look. So Vidvas plus Jana. And here the Sakara, Padanta Sakara. Vidvas is both the padam as well as a pratipadikam. So Vidvas Padanta Sakara will become Dakara. That is by a rule. Vasu Sramsu Anadudham Daha Sutra is a, so that this is a Vidvas is Vasanta. In fact, we saw that this Shabda we saw in the context of what? In which context we saw Vidvas?
Subhanta.
In Ashtadhyayi Praveshams.
Derivation of Sakaranta Shabda.
We saw this in the context of Shatru.
Sure.
Please refer the Shatru document. Vidvas Vasu Anta. Actually, here Vasu is nothing but here it is Shatru only. It is Shatru Pratyaya only. Okay, this is Vid plus Shatru only. But what happens? The Shatru is replaced by Shatuhu Vasu. Vasu Pratyaya is replaces. Shatru is replaced by Vas. Now what will you have with Vas? So for this particular word with the Shatranta, the Shatru is replaced by Vasu. Therefore, Vasu also becomes a Pratyaya. Therefore, Vasvanta Pratyaya. Vasvanta Pratyaya, Vaspratyanta Shabda, that Sakara at the end will become Dakara. That is Bhaya Sutra. Okay. So anyway, so the point here is Vidvas is, don't think something else. It is Shatranta only. Shatranta is a Pachat, many Shabda, Pachat, Gachat, etc. Similarly, here Vididatu. Vididatu plus Shatra, what will happen? Supposed to happen Vidat, but doesn't happen Vidat. It is Vidvas, it is. Not Vidan, Vidanto, Vidantaha. Vidwan, Vidvamsa, Vidvamsaha. Vidvamsam, Vidvamsa, Vidushaha, iti Rupam. Fine. This is you can note this. This is extra information. This in the Shatranta context, we would have seen, you can check just for your this with plus Shatra, Vidvas iti Pratipadikam Siddhyati. Now with that Vidvas and Jana, when they combine, you get Sakara is Padanta Sakara, that is replaced by Dakara. Then Dakara, then Dakara and Jakara, Shutta Sandhi, Vidvajjana iti, new word. It's a Ekapadi Bhavanam Samasaha. So within a compound, Samasa is a Sandhi is a must. Within a compound, you have to do Sandhi. Sandhi is a must. So Vidvajjana iti. Okay, understand?
Yes, ji.
Yes, ji.
Yes, ji.
Now, Rajapurushaha, the word is there. Now, what is Rajapurusha if it is asked? How to understand the word Rajapurushaha? Rajapurushaha. Context we have to know. The context, because samasa can be interpreted different ways, depending on the context. The context may provide different interpretations. One here Rajapurusha is simple. Rajyaha Purushaha, Rajapurushaha. Here you are joining some, but most of the time what we have to do is we have to understand what is a vigraha is, what is the how to interpret a samasa. There only we have difficulty. Joining also we can do. Joining two words. In fact, more than joining, in all our studies, Gita, Bhashyam, Upanishad, we interested in finding how to understand the vigraha of the samasa. So Rajapurusha is there. Then the vigraha is the content. The two words are there and they denote something else. Parartha Bhidanam Vritti. That this is the Vritti. Rajyaha Purushaha is a Vritti. Parartha Bhidanam Vritti. That is, Artha Bodhakam Vakyam Vigraha, not Vritti. I don't know why I said that. Artha Vigraha we have to find. Rajyaha Purushaha is a Vigraha Vakyam of Raja Purushaha. That is the Artha Bodhakam Vakyam. You have to expand the samasa in such a way, find out the relation between the words the samasa. That is called Vigraha. Parartha Vidhanam Vritti is the Raja Purusha is a Vritti, samasa Vritti. Two words combined, they denote something else. That is called Vritti. Samasa, there are 5 types of Vritti. Samasa Vritti is one. Samasa is Ekapadi Bhavanam. And Vigraha is when a samasa is given, then we have to understand the relation between the members, the components of the samasa, and understand the relation between the words and express that in the form of sentence, that a meaningful sentence. That is called Vigraha, Arthabodhakam Vakyam. Okay. So Rajyam Purushaha is one example. Then we saw all these things we saw in the last class. I saw the blue bird, took the horse cart, all these things we saw. Now, this you can note, that which is main in a compound is called Pradhanam. That which is main in a compound is called Pradhanam. And this Pradhanam, that which is main. So this Pradhanam means main or primary. So we can say that which is Abhigita. Pradhana means that we can say that which is Abhigita. That which is Abhigita means we know that which is denoted. That which is Abhigita. That is what is denoted. That is a main. So here in this example, I saw the blue bird, which is Pradhanam. Bird is a Pradhanam. Bird is a Pradhanam. That is what is Abhigita. That is what is denoted, right? So this Pradhanam can be this Pradhanam. Okay, this Pradhanam is one thing. What about the other one? Other one is that which is other than the Pradhanam is called Upasarjana. That also I will write here. That which is other than the Pradhanam. Is called Upasarjanam, technical word. You can note this. So Pradhanam meaning that which is Abhigita, that is I will call it as primary. That which is other than Pradhanam is called Upasarjana, that is called secondary. can call it as secondary. So in a compound, assuming there are two words in a compound, that which is pradhanam, mukhya, primary, and that which is not pradhanam, which is upasarjana, that is secondary, otherwise it's called gauna. You can call it as gauna. So two things will be there. One is pradhana, other one is gauna. So you can understand the Sanskrit word, simple, pradhana and gauna. Gauna means what again? Gauna means that which is not abhigita. That which is not pradhana, that not indicated, that which is not abhigita. That which is not abhigita. That is called gauna, and that is called technically upasarjana. Upasarjana, the word is used by Paniniya Maharishi. Okay. So, in a compound between the two words, that which is pradhana, that is what is abhigita, indicated, and that which is other than the pramanam, the pradhana, that is called secondary, gauna. That which is not abhigita is called upasarjanam technically. That is called upasarjanam. In the Samasa Vidayaka Sutra, in the Sutra Pata, in the second chapter, first section as well as second section, that in the sutra, that which is in Pratama Vibhakti is called Upasarjanam. Upasarjanam is secondary, and that Upasarjanam in a Samasa will be Purvam. Anyway, that we will see later when we study Sutra. That note this much, Pradhana Upasarjana. Now, in a compound, there will be two padam, Purva padam and Uttara padam. Here in this example, Uttara padam is Pradhanam, and what is Purva padam? Bluebird. Purva padam is blue.
Blue.
So now in the compound bluebird, which is Pradhanam,
Bird is pradhanam.
Bird
Blue
is
is
pradhanam.
which is Gauna,
blue is gauna.
blue is Gauna. And this Gauna secondary has got a technical name, what? Upasarjanam. And that Upasarjanam, you are making a samasa by following some rule, right? And the rule, in the sutra, would have been mentioned that Gauna will be in Upasarjanam will be in Pratama Vibhakti. In the Samasa Vidayaka Sutra, it would have been mentioned. Anyway, just an additional information. More on that we'll see when we study Samasa Vidayaka Sutranis. Okay, Sutrani. Now, this Purva Padam and Uttara Padam. Here, two words are there, Purva Padam and Uttara Padam. So, in between which is important, it depends on that alone makes the different types of samasa. Purva Padam is important, it's Pradhana, or Uttara Padam is Pradhana. That determines the type of samasa. That we will discuss. And we're going to come later, we'll discuss. Now, the gender of the compound generally determined by, as I told, the last letter of the samasa. The last letter, whatever the gender is, the last word, not letter, last word. The last word determines in general, the gender of the samasa. And to the last word only the pratyas are added, so pratyas. In the case of Tat Purusha, Purusha is one type of samasa. There, the gender of the samasa would be the gender of the last word. Example, we some example. Nripa Bharya, Nripasya Bharya. Bharya is Trilinga. So here you can see two words are there, Nripa and Bharya, which is Pradhana, which is Gauna. Bharya is Pradhana. Whose wife? And Nripa is Gauna, secondary. Bharya is Pradhana. So therefore, the Pradhanatvat and Pradhana comes as the Uttara Padam. Therefore, it is called Uttara Pada Pradhana. Therefore, it is Uttara Pada Pradhanam. That samasa in which Uttara Padam is Pradhanam is called Tatpurusha Samasa. Different types of samasas are there. One type is Tatpurusha. So that samasa in which Uttara Padam is Pradhanam, Purva Padam is Gaunam, secondary. That samasa is called Tatpurusha Samasa. Devasya Mitram, whose friend? Devasya is Gauna. Deva is Gauna. Mitra is Pradhan. Uttara Padam. And that comes at the end. Uttara Padam. And therefore the gender of the samasa are determined by the Uttara Padam. Uttara Pada Pradhanam. Uttara Pada Pradhanatvat asya samasasya nama Tatpurushaha iti. Right? Understand? So, what Padam Pradhanam determines the type of samasa. In Tatpurusha Samasa, Uttara Padam is Pradhanam. Purva Padam will be Gaunam. Then this long samasa visa, Janaka, Tanaya, Sthana, Punya, Udakam. Generally, we do the explanation of the samasa from the right side to the left side, from the right hand side to the left hand side. But you can do any, if the meanings are connected, if you find it, you can do it. There is no problem with that. Always you cannot make it to that last and the last one. Sometimes here there may be a dvandva that has to be done first and then the last one. So that possibilities are also there. In this we saw Janaka Tanaya Snana Punya Udakam iti. Here we did Janakasya Tanaya, Janaka Tanaya. What is Pradhanam? Tanaya is Pradhanam. Uttarapadam is Pradhanam. Between the two words Janaka and Tanaya, when you combine, Tanaya is Pradhanam, Uttarapada Pradhanam, therefore Tatpurusha Samasa. And these two words are joined by Shashti Vibhakti, therefore it is called Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa. So it means what? Other Vibhakti is also possible. Panchami Tatpurusha Samasa, Saptami Tatpurusha Samasa, Dvitiya Tatpurusha Samasa, all these are possible. Here it is connected by Shashti Vibhakti, therefore it is called Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa. Janakatanaya, now the word is formed. Janakatanaya is a Pradipadikam. You can decline Janakatanaya Rama Shabdavat. Now the Janakatanayayaha Snanam. That is what you want to say now in the form of a samasa. So Janakatanaya, and that pratyaya will become look. Shashti Vibhakti will become look. Snanam, here Pratama Vibhakti, Supratyaya is there. Snanam is Napumsakalinga. That becomes look. So Janakatanaya Snanam you get the new word, you get compound word. There which is Pradhanam, now Snanam becomes Pradhanam. Snana is Pradhanam. Uttarapada Pradhanam. Therefore Tatpurusha Samasa. Janakatanaya is one word, one compound, and the compound has got two words. The two words compounded compounds with another word. So now the members of this compound will become the members of the new compound. So when you do the Vigraha, you have to see the connection between the words and then do. You can say Tanayaha Snanam, Kasya Tanayaha, Janaka Tanayaha also you can say. You can bring from left to right also you can do. In fact, that is how we do it. So this is how the Vigraha to be done. Then Janaka Tanaya Snanam Punyodakam. Punyodakam. Janaka Snanena Punyodakam. Punyodakam is Karmadhara Samasa. So that's why Punyodakam is taken together. That is why we said we do this from the left to right. Punya Prasudakam Karma Dhare Samasa. And Punyodakam, once the word is formed. Janakatanaya Snana Punyodakam. Janakatanaya Snanena, here Janakatanaya Snana plus Tritiya Vibhakti Ta is there. Then Punyodaka plus that is that Supratyaya. It is Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachana Pratyaya. Pratyaya becomes look. So Janakatanaya Snana and Punyodaka, they join and they become a new samasa. Janaka Snana, Janakatanaya Snana Punyodaka. Since this is the first compound where Janaka, Tanaya, Snana, 3 words are there. Janaka Tanaya is one compound, and that compound combines the other word becomes a new compound. Now all become the members of the compound, and this combined with Punyodaka, becoming one samasa, long samasa. So when you combine, the pratyas are dropped. Snanena iti, the pratya, tritya vibhakti pratyaya is there, dropped. And in Punyodakam, pratama vibhakti pratyaya is there, it is dropped. So Janaka Snana, Janaka Tanaya Snana, Punyodaka, iti new samasa. And here, the Purva Padam, which is Pradhanam in this samasa, Janaka Tanaya Snana and Punyodaka, which is Pradhanam. Which is Pradhanam?
Punyodaka.
Punyodaka.
Punyodaka is Pradhanam. So, Punyodaka is Pradhanam. Therefore, Tat Purusha Samasa. What is the connection between the Purva Padam and the Uttara Padam? By Tritiya Vibhakti. Therefore, it is called Tritiya Tat Purusha Samasa. Understand?
Yes, sir.
This I will further with all the Vibhakti etc. I will write and then send you. Here, what I'm saying is Janaka. This Janaka, we are splitting this. So, Janakasya Tanaya. When we join, I'll give example when we join. That time with the Pratyaya being there and look and all, I will show you. But this is okay for this now. Then Punya plus Udakam. In this, which is 2 words are there, Punya and Udakam, which is Pradhanam.
Udakam.
Both are same.
Huh? Which is Pradhanam?
No,
Udakam.
Udakam. Udakam is there.
Both are Pradhanam. Purva Padam also, Uttara Padam also. That is Purva Padam. Sorry, Udakam is Pradhanam. Udakam is Pradhanam. Udakam, this is a different type of samasa within Tat Purusha. It's called Karmadharya samasa. It is a different types of samasa. So here in Karmadharya, that the first word also will point out Udakam only. That Udakam, that water which is Punya. So it is Karmadharya samasa. What's Karmadharya we will see. Okay, so Punyodakam, that Vigraha will Punyam cha Tat Udakam. Punyodakam. Punyam plus Supratyaya, Udakam plus Supratyaya. Su is Pratyaya is a drop, becomes a new Padam. Punya plus Udaka, Sandhi happens Punyodaka. Then Punyodaka, new word, new samasa. And you can decline that Udaka Shabda, Napumsakalinga, Udakam Udake Udakani, Punyodakam, Punyodake, Punyodakani. Iti here Punya and Udakam, they are Udakam is Pradhanam, and you can see the Vigraha. This Vigraha is different. It is also a Tatpurusha only, but here it is called Karmadharya. Punyam is Pratama Vibhakti, Udakam is Pratama Vibhakti. It is not Pratama Tatpurusha Samasa. Okay, or you can understand like this. Pratama Tatpurusha Samasa, that understanding is now it is okay, fine. Pratama Tatpurusha Samasa, Karmadharya Samasa, simple. Okay. 2 words connected by the Shashti Vibhakti, Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa. Tritiya Vibhakti, Tritiya Tatpurusha Samasa. If they are same, Pratama Vibhakti, Pratama Tatpurusha Samasa, that gets a new name, Karmadharya, you can say. No harm in saying that now. So, okay. Now, the last class we did this one. This little struggle was there. This is wrong actually. That's why I marked in red color. So, I delete this and I worked on this. Gopi Pina Payodara Mardana Chanchala Karayuka Shalin. These are the words in this. This is not required in this beginning, but anyway, since I have taken, so let me complete this. Shalaha asya asti iti Shalin. Yuga Shali, Yuge Shalaha. Yuga means pair. Yuge Shalaha asya asti iti Yuga Shali. Yuga Shalin iti Nakaranta Shabda. Kara Yuga Shali, pair of ants. Kara Yoga Yugaha. Kara Yugaha. Kara Yuge Shalaha asya asti iti Kara Yuga Shali. Pinam cha that Payodaraha. Pina Payodara. Pinam is not that which is drunk. Pinam is fat. Payodara is Payodara is milk. Peenam cha tat payodaram, Peena payodaram, Karmadhare samasa. Kasyaha Peena payodaraha, Gopyaha Peena payodaraha, Gopi Peena payodaraha iti. Gopi Peena payodarasya mardanam, Gopi Peena payodara mardanam. Gopi Peena payodara mardane chanchalam, Gopi Peena payodara mardana chanchalam. Chanchalam tat chatat karayugam, again Karmadharaya. Chanchala karayugam. Now join the whole thing, you will get Gopi Peena payodara mardana chanchalam, chatat karayugam. Gopi Peena payodara mardana chanchala karayugaha iti. Final samasa. This is only to show how a compound can be complex. Okay. I don't expect you to understand everything here. This is only to show you. That's why I took this example as well as this Janakatanya example. So this is a vigraha for this Gopi Peena Payodara, this long word, samasa. Last class I had a little struggle to connect the words. Then I connected later like this. So this is one. Now, having said this, now we will get into the different types of these samasas are there. We will see one by one. First, we will start with Dvandva samasa. Before that, let me tell you something. I told the Sandhi is a must, number one. Next thing is we can note this. That is, in some cases, I told that the pratyaya, the supratyaya will drop in a samasa, right? Rajan Purushaha, the Rajan is Rajyaha Purushaha, the Rajyangas pratyaya, Shashti Bhakti pratyaya is there. That similarly Purushaha Pratama Vibhakti pratyaya, that becomes look. In some cases, what happens? The intermediate members, that is inner members retain their case endings. Retain their case endings in some cases. Retain the case endings, in which case the compounds are called aluk. It is called aluk samasa. It's called aluk samasaha. The case endings are not dropped like in Raja Purushaha. Example, you can see. Example is Deva plus Priyaha. Actually, it is Devanam plus Priyaha. Now, compounding, joining two words, Devanam Priyaha. What is the pratyaya? Devanam Nas, right?
Yes.
Shashti
Nas.
pratyaya. Devanam Priyaha. What does it mean? What is the meaning Devanam Priyaha?
That who is dearer to Devas.
Dearest to Devas.
Dearer to Deva. That is what we understand. But it is not. Deva plus Nas. What is supposed to happen? The Nas and so supposed to drop, right? Supposed to become look. But it will not happen. Devanam, that whatever it is there, Devanam, Deva. Here it is Bhagavachana pratyaya, not Nas. Okay. Why? Devanam Bhagavachanam. Therefore, what pratyaya? So Devanam, then Priya. The Supratyaya will drop. Supratyaya will drop. Therefore, you have Devanam Priya iti. And they can decline Devanam Priya Akarantaha Pullingaha, depending on the gender. If it is Strilinga, Devanam Priya. If it is Pullinga, Devanam Priya. Priyaha Priyo Priyaha Akaranta Shabda Rama Shabdavat. Now, here it doesn't drop. You know, you said the meaning. What is the meaning you said? One, Devanam.
Dearest to the
Dearer
Devas.
to Devas. That is not the meaning. Devanam Priyaha means the Pandita Putraha. What is the meaning of Pandita Putraha?
Son of Pandita.
Son of,
Pandita.
Pandita.
that is what we think.
The putra who is Pandita.
Pandita.
Pandita Putraha Pamaraha.
Very good. Who said that? Yes. Pandita Putraha.
Pamaraha.
What does it mean?
He is a foolish, not.
It's not a, it is not a praising word, okay? Oh, Pandita Putra. Oh, it's a very nice word, Pandit. It's a fool. Son of the teacher. They say no, son of the teacher will be
Yeah.
rogue, will
Okay.
be fool. That is what Pandita Putra. In Sanskrit, we say nice. The son of a teacher will be the most dullard in the class. So Pandita Putra, we say. It is not a complimentary word. Pandita Putra. A Pandita Putra means a fool. Similarly, Devanam Priyaha also means fool only. Okay. Murkaha ityartaha. So, aluk samasa. Here, this am pratyaya is not, doesn't become look like in Raja Purushaha. Along with the vibhakti, the samasa is formed. That type of samasa is called aluk samasa. Na look aluk. Understand?
Okay.
I give another example. We know who is the first son of Kunti.
Yudhishthira.
Karnan.
Or Karna.
Karna.
You can take Yudhi. Yudhi. What is Yudhi? Yudhi is Saptami Vibhakti. Yudhi Stiraha. Yudhi Stiraha is Yudhishthiraha. So Yudhishthiraha is also there also. How do you get Yudhi? Yudhi is the Yuddha plus Saptami Vibhakti Ni Pratyaya. Yudhi, or you can say Yudhi, it is Stiraha. Yudhi Stiraha. Yudhi is
One who is Stiram in Yuddha.
Stira means strong. Yuddha.
Strong in Yuddha. Okay.
Yudhi, Yudhishthiraha. Yuddha plus Ni and Stira plus Su. What is supposed to happen? Yuddha, that Ni is supposed to drop, doesn't drop. Is Yudhish, the Yudhi is Saptami as it is there. And after that, Yudhishthiraha, then Shattam and all will happen. You get the word?
Stira. Okay.
Okay, let me write Yudhishthira, and the Sakara is, will get Shatva Adesha, we know. Then Takara will get Takara Adesha, then you get Yudhishthira iti. So in the word Yudhishthira, that Yudhi is in Padama inflected with the case ending only. That is not dropped. It's another good example, Yudhishthira, right? These are all examples for aluk samasa. So we may think samasa, every samasa, the case endings will drop. No, these are some cases where it may not drop. Okay. And this is one. I will rewrite everything later, just for teaching purpose. I just said note. Then number 2, before we get into the samasa, type of samasa, number 2. How do we give the Vigraha Vakya? Raja Purushaha. Take that example. Rajnyaha Purushaha we give. Using the words of the samasa, we give the Vigraha, right? Now, when the Vigraha Vakya cannot be given, when the Vigraha Vakya cannot be given by using the words in the samasa, using the words which are compounded, that compound is called, the compound samasa is called Nitya Samasa. It's called Nitya Samasa. That compound is called Nitya Samasa. When the Vigraha Vakya cannot be given by using the words which are compounded, that compound is called Nitya Samasa. Avigraha Nitya Samasaha. the Siddhanta Kaumadikara says, he says, there is no vigraha. Avigragaha nitya samasaha. You cannot give the vigraha vakya using the words. Or we can give the vigraha using the words which are not there. Asvapada vigraha also, you can say another name. Asvapada vigraha va iti. So you can call it as nitya samasa, or the vigraha will be asvapada vigraha, not swapada vigraha. Raja purushaha is Rajnyaha Purusha iti Swapada Vigraha. But here it is Aswapada, na Swapada. Aswapada Vigraha. Nitya Samasa always will be what? Either Avigraha or Aswapada Vigraha. Why we say Avigraha means it cannot have the Vigraha Vakya using the words of the compound. But if you want to have the Vigraha Vakya, you can use the words which are not in the compound, which are outside the compound. With that, you can explain. Okay, we will see the examples later. Many Aswapada Vigraha Samasas are the Nitya Samasa. Okay, so this is one. So Nitya Samasa. So Aluk Samasa, Nitya Samasa. This also you can just note. Right. Now we will see the type of compounds. Do you have any doubts?
No, Sharaj.
No, Ji.
In some places where we say, I'll say Nitya Samasa, or Vigraha Vakya will be totally different from the words which are compounded. Nitya, that is called Aswapada Vigraha Samasa, Aswapada Vigraha. And that which can be explained with the words in the very word in the Samasa. Yes, Swapada Vigraha, like Raja Purushaha, etc. Yudhishthira, etc. Everything is Swapada Vigraha. Now, what are the types of Samasa that we will see? Types of Samasa and why, based on what it is classified. That also we will see. There are only Purva Pada Pradhana, Uttara Pada Pradhana we will discuss. Now, types of Samasa. There is a shloka. Dvando Trigurapi Chagam Bad Gehe Nitya Avyayi Bhavaha Tat Purusha Karmadharaya Enakam Syam Bhaguvriti. So this is a shloka which tells all the types of samasa. What are the types of samasa? Number one, Dvandva samasa. Dvandvaha. This is one type. Second type is Tatpurusha samasa. Tatpurusha samasaha. Third one is Bahubrigi samasa. Bahubrigihi. Can call Bahubrigihi or Bahubrigi samasa. Fourth one is Avyayi Bhava samasa or Avyayi Bhavaha. You can say. In fact, these samasa are of only these types only. Samasa are of 4 types only. So it means there are 4 types of samasa. 4 types of samasa. And they are given here. Dvandva, Tatpurusha, Bahuvrigi, Avyayi Bhava. Now, what about Dvigu and Karmadharaya? Note, Dvigu and Karmadharaya, they are part of Tatpurusha samasa only. Dvigu and Karmadharaya. Dvigu and Karmadharaya, they are part of Tatpurusha samasa, are included here. So therefore, it is not counted as a separate type. But it is this is a shloka which tells you the different types of compound. Now, what makes this difference? As I told, the samasa has got Purva Padam, Uttara Padam, Pradhana and Gauna. So, Pradhana and Gauna. Which is Pradhana? Pradhana and Gauna. Pradhana is important, Gauna is secondary, primary, secondary. So, and Purva Padam and Uttara Padam is Purva Padam and Uttara Padam. So, Pradhana, Gauna, Purva Padam, Uttara Padam. So, we have to understand the relationship between these two. So, which is Pradhana, that which is Abhigita is called Pradhana. That which is Anabhigita is Gauna. When Purva Pada is Pradhana, what is Purva Pada Pradhana means? We say Purva Pada Pradhanam. Purva Pada Pradhanam means what? It's been Purva Padam Pradhanam. Purva Padam Pradhanam means Purva Padam Pradhanam Yasmin Saha Purva Pada Pradhanam. This is also compound only. It's called Purva Pada Pradhanam. That in which Purva Padam is Pradhanam is called Purva Pada Pradhanam, and that would be Avyayi Bhava Samasa. Avyayi Bhavaha. So, Purva Pada Pradhana Samasa is Avyayi Bhavaha. So, Avyayi Bhava Samasa, Purva Padam will be Pradhanam and Uttara Padam will be Gaunam.
Gauna.
So, in Avyayi Bhava Samasa, Purva Padam is Pradhanam and Uttara Padam will be Gaunam or Upasarjanam. You can call Upasarjanam also. Upasarjanam is a technical word. So, in Avyayi Bhavaha, Pradhanam. I write like this. Pradhanam, and this is a summary like that. Upasarjanam. For each compound, I will write like this. For Avyayi Bhavaha, Pradhanam will be Purva Padam. Upasarjanam will be Uttara Padam. This is for Avyayi Bhava. It will be there. Like that, I will write for each samasa. Now, this is Purva Padam. So, being two Padams being there, one can be Pradhana, other can be Gauna. So, if it Purva Pada is Pradhana, then it is called Avyayi Bhava Samasa. Now, if Uttara Padam is Pradhana, if it is Uttara Pada Pradhanam, it means what? Uttara Padam Pradhanam Yasmin Saha. Right? Uttara Padam Pradhanam Yasmin Saha. Uttara Pada Pradhanaha. Uttara Pada Pradhanam. Uttara Pada Pradhanam. So, that samasa where Uttara Pada Pradhanam, where Uttara Padam will be Pradhanam is, which, what samasa?
Tatpurusha. Tatpurusha.
Purusha.
Tatpurushaha. So now, the same thing. Tatpurusha, Pradhanam would be Uttara Padam, Upasarjanam will be Purva Padam. Changes. Upasarjanam will be Purva Padam. Now, so Purva Pada Pradhanam, Uttara Pradhanam is done. Now, Sarva Pada Pradhana, possible, both the Uttara Pada and the Purva Pada, both can be Pradhana. That's called Sarva Pada Pradhana. Sarva is all the Padams or Pradhana. Sarva Pada Pradhanam. Sarva Padam Pradhanam Yasmin Saha Sarva Pada Pradhanam. What is that? Dvandva Samasa.
Dvandva samasa.
Dvandvaha iti. So both the Padams, Purva and Uttara, they are Pradhana. That's called Dvandva. So Dvandva Samasa. So in Dvandva Samasa, Pradhanam is, which is Pradhanam? Sarvapada. Upasarjanam, there is no Upasarjanam. Both are Pradhanam. Upasarjanam is not there. Then, what is the other type? Anyapada Pradhanam. Both are not Pradhanam. Anyapada Pradhanam. That which is something else, that is Pradhanam. That is what is Abhigita. In Purvapada Pradhanam, Purvam is Abhigitam. In Uttarapada Pradhanam, in Uttara, that is Tatpurusha, Uttarapadam is Abhigitam. In Sarvapada Pradhanam, Sarvam, Sarvani Padani Abhigitani. Anyapada Pradhanam is now Ubayapada Abhigitam. It is Anyapadam Abhigitam. Therefore, Anyapadam Pradhanam. Tasmin Saha. That is Anyapada Pradhanam. And that Samasa is
Bahuvrihi.
Bahuvrihi samasa.
Bahuvrihi. So in Bahuvrihi, Avibhava, Tatpurusha, Dvandva, and in Bahuvrihi, what is Pradhanam, what is Upasarjanam? Pradhanam is Anyapadam. And there's Upasarjanam not there. Okay, this is the summary of which is Pradhan. This is 4 types of samasa. You can understand based on this. Right? Any doubt in this?
No.
Okay. Now, this, we will see Dvandva Samasa. That is the easy compound. Dvandva Samasaha. In Dvandva Samasa, you can note the linga of the samasa will be Paravat. This Dvandva Samasa. Dvandva Samase Paravata Lingam. In Dvandva Samasa, Paravata Lingam Bhavati. The gender of the compound will be Paravata Lingam. That is, the gender will be decided by the gender of the compound will be decided by the gender of the last word. In Tatpurusha also like that only. That is Dvandva. We will discuss more on this one by one. Dvandva Samasa in English it is called copulative compound. Copulative compounds. So Dvandva Samasa. So in Dvandva Samasa, what happens? When 2 or more words are joined with cha, the particle is called copulative particle. This particle is called, it's a particle, copulative particle. So when 2 or more words are joined with cha between them, it is dropped. It is dropped, and the 2 or more words are together now. And the 2 or more words together are together called Dvandva. Called Dvandva. And in Dvandva, the gender of the compound is determined by the gender of the last word. Udaharanam, we will see. Udaharanam, Ramaha cha, Krishnaha cha. So here what happens? Ramaha cha. Cha is dropped. Then Rama plus Su. This type of vigraha is called Alaukika vigraha. Showing with the pratyaya is called Alaukika vigraha. Laukika vigraha is Rajnyaha Purushaha, Laukika vigraha. Rajan plus Su, Purusha plus Su. Rajan plus Nas, Purusha plus Su. That is Alaukika vigraha. So this is Alaukika Vigraha, Krishna plus Su. So both combined, what will happen? Su is dropped. So you have Rama, Krishna. Is it Rama Krishna? No. Two are Pradhanam, Ubhayapada Pradhanam, right? You can call Sarvapada Pradhanam or Ubhayapada Pradhanam. Here two words are there, therefore Ubhayapada Pradhanam. When two words are Pradhanam, what would be the case? Here
Gender Ramakrishna.
Krishna.
gender will be Pullinga, fine. Ramakrishna. And what pratyaya you will add? Two words are there. Ubhayapada Pradhanam. In this compound, two words are there. Therefore, how we have to add? How we have to add? Ramakrishna is some, up to here it is over. Ramakrishna is a samasa. Then it would be complete only when you add au. Ramakrishna Pradipadikam, and as a padam, when you want to express, you have to add au. Ramakrishna, 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 that cannot come. Because Ubhayapada Pradhanam, therefore, Rama plus Su, then Krishna plus Su, the cha is a drop, then Ramakrishna plus au, Ramakrishna. So Ramakrishna is equal to Ramascha, Krishna cha. That is the Vigraha Vakya. Rama plus Su, Krishna plus Su is Alaukika Vigraha. Okay. So we are not, I've given the example of making a samasa. If samasa is to be resolved, Ramakrishna it is given, then you have to go the same step. Ramakrishna, if both are Pradhanam, then Ramaha cha, Krishnaha cha. And the gender is determined by the last word. Similarly, the other examples. Strihi cha, Purushaha cha. What will be the compound?
Sri Purusha.
It would be
Sri Purusha.
Sri Purushau.
Mm.
Sri Purushau, because it's Dvandva. Sri cha, Purusha. Sri Purushau. Then Ramaha cha, Lakshmanaha cha, Bharataha cha. This would be
Rama Lakshmana Bharataha.
this would be because many are there and Sarvapada Pradhanam, therefore Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, then you have to add what pratyaya? So just Bhagavachana.
Das.
Yes.
So you get Rama, Lakshmana, Bharataha iti the compound. Rama, Lakshmana, Bharataha. There are many examples. We can do many examples on this. Another example. And here itself, Dvanda also there types are there, that also we'll see. Sita cha, Rama cha. How do you combine this?
Sitaram.
Sita is Srilinga, Rama is Pullinga. So what will gender now?
Pullinga only.
Sita, Rama only. Two are there, two are Pradhanam, and Rama is Pullinga, therefore Sita Rama iti. Another one. Sutaha cha, Kanya cha.
Sutta Kanye.
Sutta Kanye. Kanya Srilinga, and that is Para Padam, Uttara Padam. Both are Pradhanam. Uttara Pada is Srilinga. Therefore, Sutta Kanye, Rama Rame, Sutta Kanye iti, you have to make it. Another one. Devaha cha, Purushaha cha.
Deva Purushau.
Deva Purushau. Devaha cha, Purushaha cha. What compound?
Eva Purusha.
Purushaha. Bhagavachana. Deva Purushaha. So, therefore, what is here you can note. Therefore, what is that here? It is the number is not determined by, the number is not determined. The number is, we don't think number is only the number of words in that. No, number is not determined by the number of members. By the number of members of the compound. Determined by what? Or by the number of things represented by the members. Okay, that's very important. Understand? Is it clear?
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
Ji.
sir.
Yes. And there is no limit to the number. We can have a long one. Suppose if I give Deva, Deva, Sura, Gandharva, Visha, Charakshasaha, Aksha. Our compound is given. You have to split. How do you split now? Deva, Sura, Gandharva, Visha, Charakshasaha.
Deva
Cha
Asuraha
Bahacha Asura.
Asuraha cha Gandharvaha
Devaha cha
Asuraha cha
Surahacha.
Gandharvaha cha, then
Shachara.
Pishachaha cha, then
Rakshasaha Rakshasaha
Rakshasaha cha. If any of them gets Bhagavachanam also, it will happen. Devascha Asuraha cha Devasuraha. Devascha Asurascha Devasura. Okay. So like that you
But
can. Yeah.
Rakshasaha Bahuvachanam should be there. Sir.
Rakshasa,
Rakshas-
many are there.
So
Therefore,
Rakshasaha.
Rakshasaha only. Rakshasaha. Bhagavachanam only.
No, but while Vigrahavakyam, no, while doing Vigrahavakyam.
No. That, that depends. Here only one Rakshasa is specified. Therefore, Rakshasaha. Need not be.
Okay.
If you are Vivaksha, if Rakshasa Bhagavachanam are there, then you can say Bhagavachanam, Rakshasaha. Vigrahavakyam need not be. Can be there, can need not be there. You can mean one Rakshasa or you can mean many Rakshasas. Possible. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Then,
Gee, then in the that samasa rakshasaha, there it is bahuvachanam, or because of Devasura, I don't understand there why it is bahuvachanam.
many are there.
And here rakshasaha, why?
Here, how many members are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 are there. Therefore, Bhagavachanam. Therefore, the Bhagavachanam Pratyaya is added. Rakshasaha.
No, how to differentiate? It is one rakshasa or many rakshasas? How to?
That you cannot know by the compound, depending on the context only.
Okay.
That you cannot know.
Okay. Okay.
Even if it is Rakshasa, many Rakshasas are there, compound will be Rakshasaha. Even if it is one Rakshasa, because there are many members, that will be Rakshasaha, Bhagavachanam only. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Then.
In between, if you have many, like Ashuras or many.
Yes. Then also it will happen like that, Bhagavachanam only.
Like that, Bhagavachanam.
Yes. That's why I gave this example. Devaha cha Purushaha, Deva Purushaha, it would be. The number is not determined by the number of members of the compound, by the number of things represented by the members. Okay, that's important. Now,
No, in the compound itself, for an example, Deva, many Devas means,
Bhagavachanam.
no, how they will give, it will be same Devasura only.
I didn't get you. What is it again?
No, for an example, here Devaha cha Asuraha. If instead of one Deva, many Deva are there, then the samasa vakyam, that will be, how will be that one?
Devaha.
Here, the last one, what you have, Devasura, Gandharva,
Hmm.
there. If many devas are there,
Hmm.
then it will be Devaha.
Devasura.
In the compound, it will be same Devasura only, no?
Devaha cha asuraha cha devasuraha. Understand?
No, not that
No,
one, the
yeah,
last
she's
one.
asking about, I think to form a samasa, we take only the pratipadikam. That's what it is.
Again, ask Kameshwari, what is your question?
Okay, I understood from her reply. Yeah, then the Pratipadikam will be taken as only once. The Pratipadikam as Pratipadikam. When we do Vigraha Vakyam, Pratipadikam is alone taken. So it will be just Ekavachanam only. But here in the compound, we can't make out no from the compound
Pratipadikam,
whether
where
it
is
is
Ekavachanam? Pratipadikam is Pratipadikam.
Pratipadikam only. Yeah, Deva.
Where is Ekavachanam, Dvivachanam for Pratipadikam?
No,
Sure. Whether it's a Devaha or Deva, the pratipadikam is only Deva, right?
I'm not getting the question.
in the compound word, Deva, Sura, Gandharva, that one long one.
Okay.
Whether it is Deva or Asura, whether it is Ekavachanam or Bahuvachanam, how to make out and split. So when we are doing Vigraha Vakyam,
that we cannot say. That depends on the, that's why I gave this example. Devaha cha asuraha cha deva suraha. Now deva suraha it is given. Now how do you know one deva and many asuras, or many devas or one asura? We don't know. It could be anything. The compound could be devaha cha asuraha cha or devaha cha asuraha cha, possible. All will be the same deva suraha. So this compound, if you understand this example, your question is devaha cha plus asuraha cha will be what? Devaha plus asuraha.
Devas.
Huh?
Devas.
Rao.
Deva surav.
Deva.
Deva surav.
Devasura.
Devasura.
Devaha cha plus asuraha cha devasuraha.
Devasura.
Now devaha plus asuraha cha. What would be the compound?
Devasura.
Devasuraha.
Same.
Devasura.
Then devaha plus asuraha. What would be the compound?
Devasuraha.
Same. That's what your answer question is, right?
Yeah.
Same only. Very clearly. That's why I've written by words. Number is not determined by the number of members of the compound, but by the number of things represented by the members. Important. Note that. The number alone determines the number of the individual members. That alone determines the final number, plural or singular. I mean, dvivachana.
The total number.
Yes. That's why.
Only word is given and asked to split the words. So Deva Suraha, he can do anything out of
It can be any combination.
It can be any combination. That depends on the context. That depends on the see, samasa is, that is why samasa, you don't create any samasa. Depending on the context, the samasa is given, you have to understand what it means in the context. Samasa always with reference to the context only. Okay. In fact, samasas, what we can form individually is a limited scope. There are many words samasas are there. How it is formed, what rule is applied. For that only samasa vidayaka sutra. We form simple compounds. Like that Dvandva samasa, Tatpuri samasa, like that. There are some samasas are there, which how it is there, how to interpret. For that only all the sutras are there. Okay, so depending on the context, anyway. Now, coming back. This Dvandva samasa, there are three types. Dvandva samasa has three types. What are those three types? We'll see. One is Itaretara Dvandva Samasa, number one. Itaretara, Itaretara Dvandvaha, number one. Second one, Samahara Dvandvaha, second one, second type. Third one is Ekasesha Dvandvaha. So three types are there. Itaretara, Samahara, and Ekasesha. First we will say Itaretara, that is simple. Among Dvandva Samasa, Itaretara is simple. That is what we saw. In fact, what we saw now it is Itaretara Dvandva Samasa. So let us take Itaretara Dvandvaha. Among Dvandva Samasa, Itaretara Dvandva. Now in Itaretara Dvandva, what happens? When the several members of a Dvandva are treated or viewed separately, and it is called Itaretara Dvandva. Itaretara Dvandvaha. Example, Ramakrishna, Rajapurusha, all these are examples. Udaharanam already seen. Like Ramakrishna and Stri Purusha, all these are examples of what we saw. Itaretara Dvandva Samasa. This is point number one. Then point number two. The gender of the compound determined by what? Parvatalingam. The gender of the last, the word of the compound is the gender of the whole compound. Gender of the whole compound. This is number two. Example. You can see example. Here, Ramaha. Okay. Sita cha, Ramaha cha. What will happen? Sita cha, Ramaha cha.
Sita Ramo.
Sita Ramo.
Ramo.
Sita Ramo. Sita Rama is there? No. Ramaha cha, Sita cha.
Ramasite.
Rama Sita. So gender determined by the last one. Here Srilinga, the first one it is Pullinga. This is number two. Number three. Number three. Already discussed. If the whatever we discussed, that only I am writing in words. If the words added, compounded, if the words compounded are two, then the whole compound as a dual number, like Ramasita, Ramasite, Asita Ramo, dual number. And if the words compounded are more than two, then the whole compound will be in plural, like Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrugnaha, iti. Okay. So here also we can, just for the sake example, I am writing Ramascha Sitacha Ramaha Sitacha Ramaha cha Sita Ramo. That is example for dual. For Bhagavachanam. Bhagavachanam, another example. Nadi cha, Nadaha cha, then Palavalam cha. What is the compound now? Nadi cha, nadaha cha. Nada is also river, pulling a word for nadi. Nadi cha, nadaha cha. Palavalam. Tell me, what is the compound here?
Nadi,
Nadi,
nada,
nada,
palavalani.
Palavalani. Palavalani.
Honey, because it's a mutagen.
Napumsakal.
What will be now? Nadi, nada,
Palavalani.
palavalani. So palavalam is neuter. Just a minute. Give me a minute. Yes. So nadi, nada, palavalani. Okay. Then similarly, Kukutaha cha, Mayuri cha. What will happen?
Kukkuta mayure.
Kukuta,
Mayure.
Mayuryav.
Mayuryav, good.
Ayuryav.
Mayuryav. Like Gauri, Ikaranta Shabda. Nadi. But there is exception, please note here. There is exception. Always exception will be the exception. With that, I will stop now. What is that exception? You can see. Ashvaha cha Vada, I think Vadava only. Vadava. Vadava is mare. What is the word for mare? That is not M-A-R-E. Ashra is ours, and for mare is Vadava or Badava. It is Va or Ba. Check. Just a minute. Yeah, it is Vadaba. Vadaba mare. It is Vadaba. Yes. Vadava is that, not Badava. It is Vadaba, I think. The word is Vadaba. Not clear in the Ashvaha cha, Vadaba cha. What is the compound here? Badava is mare. Female. What is mare? Ours is, I think, Pulinga. Mare is
Female horse.
Strilinga. The word for Strilinga is Badaba. That is what the dictionary is given. That's why I checked that. But it is
Ashwa
Vadava or
Vadabe.
Vadava, whatever may be.
Vadabe.
So it would be
Ashwa Vadabe.
Bow, it is exception.
Uh-huh.
There it is exception. Taking the gender of the Pullinga. Similarly, Agasa de cha Ratrihi cha. What is Samasa?
Aharatrav.
Aho, it is.
Ora.
Agan is Nakaranta. Aho, it will become. Aho Ratra. It comes in Aho Ratra. Some Chuptam, some Nakshatrani Rupam. Ashwino Vyatam. Ahoratre Parshve Nakshatrani Purushasuktam. So here it becomes Ahoratrau. Ratri is Trilinga. Agan is Napumsakalinga. Ahoratrau it will become. So this is exception. There are exceptions like that. Okay. Exceptions are exceptions. That also we can know only from the Samasa Sutra only. So this is not yet over. Dvandva is just an introduction. So it will continue. Any doubts in this?
No, ji.
No,
No,
sure.
sure.
We can stop here. I will send you these notes. You can go through that. We'll do more examples on Iterator Dandva and then Ekashesha and Samahara Dandva. In Samahara, the gender would be neutral. All are Dandva only. Iteratara, Samahara, Ekashesha. We'll see. Continue the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ji.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
If you find any samasa from the Gita, what we saw, you can send. I'll add as an example here. On the Gita Pravesha class, we have seen, right? Many samasas. As example, for samasa, we have to do a lot of practice. Then only samasa vigraha will be able to do it. Okay. Fine. We'll do. A lot of examples are there. We'll see. Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.